to wash me away, a tide that is taking me under. Swallowing sand left with nothing to say, my voice drowned out in the thunder. But I won't cry, I won't start to crumble. Whenever they try to shut me or cut me down, try to lock me in this cage, I won't just lay me down at night. I will take his broken wings and watch me burn across the sky. Hear the echoes saying I won't be silent. You won't see me quiet, won't tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless. This is my dad, Mike. This is my mom, Jill. This is Penelope, Sam, and Zachary. And my name is Eleni. And I would like to clarify something before we start. How to pronounce our last name. Because I've seen a few people pronounce it a little differently. So, can everyone say Kotsis?
Kotsis.
Kotsis, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great job, Eleni. Thank you for having us here today. Thank you, Eric and Judy, for creating this opportunity very last minute for Eleni to sing here today, too. So we want to spend our time, a little bit of our time, talking about what is Soul School. You're probably wondering. Some of you know, some of you are making it up in your own heads. We are, too. It starts, so here's where Soul School started from. About 4.5 years ago. It was our willingness to question something in our life that we previously didn't think we could question. And that came in the form of the education for our children. So let's back up to 2021. Zachary and Eleni were in 5th and 4th grade, and they started to come home saying they were bored. They were bored. We started to see school that they were going to a great school, but we started to see the love of learning start to flicker out. School started to turn from a want to, an excitement, to a have to. Jill and I reflected on our journey. It was about that age for us that we said, yeah, that happened about that age, but we didn't really have another choice. So we just dug in and started getting good at the game of school. Now, when we reflected on it, we reflected on our journey of learning. We always found that we learned faster when we were interested in something, when we wanted to lean in, we get excited about it. We learned it faster and with a lot more depth. That's what we found was true for our life. Some of that came through travel and experiential learning. Some of that came through field trips. Some of it came through just different adventures that we would individually go on. And so, really the linchpin for us is that, so again, Zachary and Eleni were in a Latin class, which nobody speaks Latin anymore. So we're like, why are we doing this? But there was one word in particular that they were learning, like right about this time, that was like, oh yeah, that's why this is happening. It was the word education. They were learning in Latin. And one of the roots of the word education comes from one of the words is educare. And that means to mold and to shape. And it dawned on us right at that moment that they were being molded and shaped by things that were perceived outside of them, from the outside in. Where we believe that what if you're molded and shaped from God's whisper in your heart, and you allow that to be the molding and shaping that lives your life, and you stay connected to that throughout your whole life.
What did I miss?
So
so also around that time, Mike was coaching with Steve Hardison, and I was attending the University of Santa Monica's spiritual psychology program. So we're doing all the work that all of us in this room are also doing, peeling back the layers, trying to understand, the childhood work, the trying to break free of the expectations of other people that we've lived for much of our life, right? And we thought, what if we approached it differently with our kids? What if we, as an experiment, as a possibility, as Julie says, right? What if they didn't have to go through all of that? What if they had the possibility of, well, we can't protect them from the world and things that will happen to them, but what if we can surround them with unconditional love and acceptance and nurture those passions that are already there all along and allow that to be what comes through in their life. So that's how it all started.
Yeah, so one day we pulled our kids together and we said, we're thinking of starting this thing that we didn't quite have the name yet, but Soul School. And we don't know exactly how it's gonna work. We don't know what it's gonna look like. We've never done it ourselves. Are you interested? And if one or more of you wanna stay in school, we're happy you can stay there. You don't all have to, it's not an all or nothing thing. You're allowed to do that. And in that conversation, we decided together that all four of them were in. Now, Penny was really young. She wasn't even in school age yet, right? But they were all in. They're like, yeah, let's do this. We're like, okay, we knew, we expected to let out. We're like, oh man, okay, like what are we getting ourselves into? And so the whole point of Soul School, we're building off of 3 principles for our family, is for each of us to know who we are, for each of us to know whose we are as children of God. And third is why we're here. What are our passions? What are the things that God's planning in our heart to move us forward in our lives? And so the whole journey is designed around each of our lives, the journey of our life being the curriculum. Not a textbook, manufactured curriculum, but each of our lives being the curriculum. And so as we were reflecting on this, we wanted to say, well, how are we going to share about this to the room? We said, well, part of it is that we pulled ourselves together. I brought out the whiteboard, and then Lenny said, oh, Dad, why do you bring out the whiteboard? and I said, well, let's create a vision of what we want to share. And so what we put on there was that we wanted to share excitement, energy, happiness, possibility, and authentic conversation. And what dawned on me was that authentic conversation. We said, well, what if we did this like we do around the dinner table? At the end of the day, most days of the week, well, when we have dinner, we share our way of connecting as a family. We share what we call our high, our low, and our buffalo. So our high is the greatest thing from the day, our low is our biggest challenge, and our buffalo is something interesting, or as our kids like to say, something random. And so we'll do that with Soul School. We'll say, what's our high of this Soul School way of life? What's our low or biggest challenge of the Soul School way of life? And what's a buffalo if we've got one? All right, you ready?
So we've kind of worked through this a little bit at home because we can't go totally cold with the kids. But we also told them, whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes from your heart, the day of, just keep it real. So we don't really know what's going to happen. Just so you know.
What happens will be perfect. All right, Penelope, how old are you?
7.
Penny, what would you say your high of Soul School way of life is?
That we get to spend more time with each other and we go on trips. And our most recent trip was Greece and Italy. And living on a catamaran for a week was a really cool experience.
That's great. Penelope, is there anything else you want to share? All right, how about your biggest challenge? What would you say your biggest challenge is?
I don't have one.
See? That's what she's teaching me to live back into. All right, what about your buffalo?
So in Italy, we were looking for we are in our great Papu's village, which is a Greek name for grandpa, and we to see his house, and it wasn't still standing anymore, but and then my other one is that every morning we say our document, and I'm going to say it. So,
What's the title of it?
My joy. So, I'm going to say, I am love, and I am in God's heart. I'm a creator. I'm silly and goofy. I'm brave. I'm being peace. I'm strong. I am fun. I'm to forgive. I'm smart and a genius. I am beautiful. I am a singer, dancer, and ballerina. I'm fast. I'm a learner and explorer. I'm respectful. I am a believer of Christ, and this is who I am in my parents' name, Penelope Anastasia Lee Kotsis.
Thank you, Kevin. Beautiful job. All right, why don't you pass it over to Sam? Sam, how old are you?
I am 9, almost 10.
9, almost 10. All right, so would you share, what would you say your high is of Soul School?
My high is probably flexibility. We have a lot of flexibility. Like if there's something going on in the morning, we can always do a schoolwork in the afternoon. And if there's something going on in the afternoon, we can still do it in the morning. And yeah.
What kind of things are you learning right now?
Me, well, I'm doing a math book, language arts, and writing.
What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about, well, at least my favorite part is probably math.
You like the numbers, I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. So kind of starts with the flexibility part. In the mornings, I can wake up and most of the time I go downstairs and listen to my audiobook or read a book. Yeah, for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, he does. He snuggles himself up in a blanket and just buries himself in a book. He even started setting an alarm recently because he wanted to get up earlier to have more time to do that before the day gets away.
Well, he eats his chocolate chip muffin.
Yeah, he eats his pumpkin chocolate chip muffin in the morning. That's where you can find Sam. Sam, what would you say one of your biggest challenges is?
My biggest challenge is like in my schoolwork, there's sometimes distractions, like my dog Pussy.
He's pictured in the book, is what they're saying.
Yeah, and sometimes there's other distractions too.
What about something interesting?
Interesting.
You're a buffalo.
Probably we have a lot of different ways to our school. So besides my math book, I have like synthesis demo. So synthesis is a thing on the computer where we work on like teamwork. It's kind of like a Zoom meeting. We work on teamwork, communication, all that kind of stuff, and strategy. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Thank you, Sam. All right, here's the one that doesn't need an introduction. That'll let us off. Letty. How old are you?
I'm 13.
All right. Well, we'd love to hear what is your high of this whole school way of life?
my high is similar to what they said, the flexibility that it offers and the fact that I can choose, for the most part, what I learn and when I learn it, and no one tells me how to do it, which there can be highs and lows to that, but I don't have anyone constantly monitoring me and asking me, like, did you do your schoolwork yet? Did you do your schoolwork yet? I can just kind of do it whenever. And with that, I think, comes the very important lesson of learning how to create your own habits and learning how to stick with them and stick to promises that you make to yourself, maybe, and just like doing what you say and following through without having someone to remind you. I think that's a really important thing, to learn how to be able to stay in habits. And with that, since I don't have someone monitoring me 24/7, sometimes I go through challenges like not feeling motivated. And when I'm not feeling motivated, I usually remind myself that if I respect myself and if I love myself enough, then I will do these hard things because I want a good future and a good life for myself. And so that definitely motivates me a lot. And since I decide also, when I wake up, as I said, when I do my schoolwork, and with that, most mornings, I wake up at 6 a.m. and I do my workout, my Bible and devotion, and my schoolwork, which involves, it can involve some core textbooks, but otherwise, I play guitar, I sing, I craft, I jog my creative mind, I do all sorts of things.
Thank you. What about your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge is probably spending every day with my siblings. It can for sure test my patience, and there is, like Sam said, sometimes there's a lot of distractions, like, Sam bouncing the ball in the living room, he bounces the ball against the wall that is right next to my room, so I hear a lot of that, a lot, but I have to make sure every day that being with them almost 24/7, to be able to grow our relationship instead of letting it wreck our relationship.
What about something interesting? What's your buffalo, your soul school buffalo?
My buffalo is, well, like I said, I don't have anyone monitoring me, and besides my mom does check over a few of my core subjects that I do. Besides that, we don't really do grades. And I'm not gonna lie, if I was in a regular school right now, I would probably take some shortcuts on some subjects, look things up, look off someone else's work, or take shortcuts not doing the full work. But because I know the exact reason why I'm doing each and every thing or subject that I'm doing, I know that if I cheated or just didn't do my work in any way, the only person I would be cheating is myself.
Thank you. All right, Zachary, how old are you?
I will be turning 15 on Sunday.
Last year, his birthday was during the ultimate experience. All right, so what is your greatest challenge? Let's not start with that. Let's start with your greatest high.
So, basically capping off of what each of these guys have said, the flexibility, but not only of when we do school, but what we're learning with school, and the experiences that we get to participate in that we may not otherwise be able to. We have been visiting a local senior center where we have no family, but we've been visiting and learning from the elderly and taking advice and learning from them. One other thing that I've been learning is I've been taking Hillsdale College classes online for free and learning history and about government through there, which is a resource that I probably wouldn't be able to tap if I wasn't doing soul school. It also has allowed me to get a job, which I've now been refereeing for both basketball and soccer for 3 years now, and that has been going well. Yeah.
your challenge.
Okay, so my challenge, especially the first 2 years of doing soul school. So I went to traditional school for 6 years, and I had a lot of close friends that I made. And then being taken away from that, for those of you that don't know, we also moved at the same time that we started soul schooling. So it was a complete transition. And I didn't make any close friends in the first 2 years. Didn't find a very good activity that I was enjoying. And I also struggled to stay motivated with my learnings and didn't really find the love for learning until more recently this year, where I have really been looking forward to the times where I can take some of my courses and learn more. But my interesting, I'll jump into that, is kind of based off of my log just now, that since I wasn't thrown into a group of kids my age and kind of forced to be in that friend group, I have been able to really select the group of people that I spend the most time with being soul schooled, and I have found a very good group of friends through basketball and youth group that I have really liked. And then also, one thing that we talked about when my dad brought out that whiteboard was we were talking about some of the things that we might want to have people take away and what we wanted to talk about. And one of the things I brought up was that we were talking about how how we don't just learn in the classroom, in our basement, in our dining room. It's also outside school and in the activities we do and where we go. And they were asking us questions. What was the question? Do you remember what the question was that you asked us?
Just what
Yeah, that's right.
do you want everybody to feel walking away?
No, that wasn't it. But
What was it?
it was well, the answer to whatever question they asked. No, I won't do that. They asked basically how we learned outside school and what we used to do that. And I said it wasn't just that it was more of a mindset. Like, we went into life expecting and getting ready and preparing to learn and grow from each experience, whether that's basketball, youth group, singing, gymnastics, basketball, whatever it is. We go into it expecting to learn and grow from it.
Awesome. Thank you, Zachary. All right, Jill, I'm not going to ask you how old you are. But Jill is you have been so instrumental in this working for our family. And just my love and appreciation grows for you every moment of every day. And you have an insatiable desire and love of service, of serving and creating possibilities for our family, for learning, for growing. You do what you call strewing, and you put ideas out there and see if any of the kids will pick anything up and run with it. And I know that you get a real energize out of it about your learning and growing. So I will let you
don't take up my time.
share.
I got Thank you. You're welcome. So, okay, I brought my notes because I was nervous I would forget everything. Okay, it's so hard to think of one high because I love everything about it, if I'm being completely honest. But if I have to pick one, it would just be the amount of quality time that I get to spend with these human beings. Like, we spend a lot of time together, and we know that our kids are being molded and shaped by the people they spend the most time with, and we just feel that it's so important that they have, that they're surrounded by love, and that they are supported and encouraged in what they love. And so yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I just love spending my mornings drinking my coffee, snuggling with these guys and reading books with them, and taking Hillsdale classes with Zachary. I mean, I'm a learning junkie. I will never stop, and so that's how be in the huddle. My God, I love to learn. So I do wholesale classes with Zachary. Occasionally Eleni will let me bake with her. Sometimes I'm not allowed, but we get to do so many things. And I love it. I absolutely love it. The second, challenge. So there's so many opportunities and so many things that we could do, and like Mike said, I love to strew different possibilities out there for our kids, and like different field trips, big trips, you name it. And because I'm a fact finder, I could get completely lost in trying to find all the greatest possible, things that might inspire our kids. And so it can be hard to be just content that we got it, we're good, and if something needs to surface, it will surface. Ultimately, I know that, but that is definitely a challenge for me. And let's see, the last one. So my interesting, I'm like thoughtful. We went into this knowing that life is learning, and that's something that we talked about the kids at the get-go. But it's been really, really incredible to see that truly happening in real life with the kids, and see the unexpected places. Zachary kind of stole one of my, going to visit the senior center. Like, these kids are incredible. Many of the seniors there are non-communicative. Kids would get scared, I think, in a lot of them in this sort of environment, and the love that they pour into those seniors. I get so many compliments, it's incredible. And I know that they're learning so much too. And I would be remiss, I have to mention one other little thing. So one experience we just had on the way here 2 days ago on our non-stop direct flight from Detroit that lasted 22 hours was, I mean, I need the details, but just using that experience as a teaching moment and modeling just that we can be okay and we can have fun and we can make the best of this, and life throws you lemons and you make lemonade. So these guys were rock stars, they were amazing, and we were all tired, and just stuff happens. So using everything that we experience as a learning opportunity has been awesome.
Awesome, thank you. So my high of Soul School is seeing all of life truly as one. I realized how much time I spent in the past trying to balance family life with work life, with school life, and being present. And before I never realized how much energy I spent trying to pull all those things together and manage it and try to make it the perfect balance everywhere that I went. And once through some of the coaching work for me, I started to see that I was the one creating the separation. I was the one that was creating that school was separate, that family life was separate, that work was separate. And then I was trying to put it all back together, so I was double downing on all the energy around that. When I slowed down and started seeing it all as one, we can travel together. Everything started manifesting in our lives as a reflection of the way I started seeing things inside. So our home was created, where I work out of our home, we school out of our home, we vacation out of our home, we bless people from our home. There's physical things in our lives that have changed because of the way I believe I started seeing things from the inside out. That's my high. My challenge, it's up here. It's my mind. My mind drives me crazy sometimes. It's surrendering. The thoughts of saying, well, are we really doing the right thing? Are they going to be okay with the path that we're on? Are they learning everything they need to learn to be independent, contributing, loving human beings? And then I go, relying back on my faith is knowing that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Everything's going to work out perfectly. And it does. And it's usually not how my mind made it up to be. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. The last thing was interesting was When we went on our Soul School adventure to Greece and Italy this past fall, we had both sets of grandparents with us for an overlapping 9 days of that journey. And it was just so beautiful to have us all together under one roof, not in our environment at home where we're seeing each other for holidays or birthdays, but just doing life together and really having some of those conversations, playing euchre, that's the Midwest game. And then something that Zachary had shared too is that it's the intentionality. He was being so intentional. I remember at a certain point spending extra time with my parents, and he reflected back after the trip, saying that he was spending that time with them because he doesn't know when he's ever going to get that kind of unique opportunity to be living life together in that way, spending time learning stories, helping my father not to wander off and stay close. If you ever see my Vic Back Creek wedding, sometimes the grandparents wander away. And I just so appreciate those slowing down moments to really experience that. So overall, that's our high-low in Buffalo. What I want you to take away from this, if I have one thing that I wanted you to take away from this, is that while Soul School started with us questioning the way we were educating our kids, it has grown and evolved beyond that to this place of it's a Soul School way of life, where we start questioning the things we previously didn't even want to or think of questioning in our lives, to say, is that in service to us? Is that in service? And so that's my question to you. Is my one desire tonight is for each of you to create your own Soul School. Whether you're married or have kids or not, you can create a Soul School for you by what is one thing in your life that you've done because it feels like it's expected of you, or you're obligated to. Just asking the question creates a whole new world possibility of answers that you'd never even entertained or would even allow ourselves to take action on. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here.